It's Sunday Morning Gospel on the People Station. We are WSCI Star 105.3. As always, we thank God and we thank you for this opportunity. I've got a very special guest in the house with me this morning. None other than Pastor Floyd Rose himself. Sir, I thank you for being with us this morning.
Glad to be here.
You were talking about reading the newspaper this morning. And we're glad that you do that, because you know they say if you want to hide things from a certain group of people, all you got to do is put it in the newspaper. We don't believe that. We believe that we are very astute, very intelligent, and very well educated people. Amen?
Amen.
And we are not afraid. Tell me about what you read.
Well, you know, first of all, let me say that readers are leaders and leaders are readers. You have to read. Anybody who achieves anything worthwhile in this world, read. You have to read. And I make it my business to read because I want to know what's going on.
I like that.
Well, I understand that there will be, based on the new redistricting of the lines, Lowndes County will take on one more representative.
Yes.
Now, that being true, I also understand that that district will be predominantly black, which will give us another opportunity at a state representative. Let me say this about voting and its power. An elephant trainer, when he gets ready to train an elephant, he first breaks the spirit of that elephant. He ties a strong rope around the right hind leg of the elephant, and then the other end of that rope around the trunk of a tree. When that elephant tries to get away, his leg is pulled and he's in pain. After several tryings, he ends up giving up because he no longer wants to feel the pain. Then the elephant trainer removes the end of the rope around that trunk of the tree and then drives a small stake in the ground. But because the elephant's will has been broken, even though he can just pull away anytime, he doesn't, because his will has been broken. We have the potential in Valdosta to have black politicians controlling the city apparatus, the political apparatus here in Valdosta. We have that. The problem is not that we don't have the numbers. We are now, I think, 54 to 55% of the population in Lowndes County. That being said, there's no reason at all that we shouldn't have blacks in control of the political power of this city. Not just black folks in high places, but the places should be black because they're there. Now, how do we do that? We recognize the power that we have, just like that elephant. Every now and then, though, that elephant pulls up the stake and walks away. Once he understands that he is no longer subject to the will of the trainer. What we've gotten in this country, and particularly in the South now, we have been trained. Our will has been broken. Now, to change all that, we must simply just realize that we are no longer tied to the trunk of that tree, and that stake is nothing. Just get up and walk away. We have the numbers, we have the potential power, we need only to realize it and use it.
When we look at the ability to bring about change in this community, it has to begin and end with the vote. We know from the last election regarding the East Bloc vote that a handful of people decided whether or not East Bloc would actually go through, especially after having a conversation with former city school superintendent Sam Allen, who was leading the charge for the East Bloc vote. Why don't we vote?
You know what, if I knew the real answer to that, I'd be a billionaire, not a millionaire, but a billionaire. Our spirit has been broken as a group. Individually, black folks in this country are doing pretty good, individually. Collectively, we have retrogressed economically and in some instances politically, even though the opportunity is there, even though the right is there, somehow the will to exercise it has been broken.
Deal with the economic retrogression.
Let's just talk about Lowndes County. At one time, we owned 60% of the land in this county. Moody Air Force Base, the land where the mall is, the land where Lowndes High School is. Most of the land out there where Valdosta High School is now located. All of that land was in the hands of black people. 60% of the land in Lowndes County, today we own less than 20%. Some of it was just taken from us. Some of us just sold it for peanuts. And some of us just walked away and left it.
And land is one of the first tenets in wealth building.
Well, if you don't have any land, you don't have any power. It's just that simple. Land is power. If you don't have land, you don't have power.
Let's talk about the process by which we can be re-empowered through that mechanism that Fannie Lou Hamer, so many others died that we might have a right to.
It's really not that difficult, Lee. When the Cubans get off the boat, they look in the mirror and they lack who and what they see. They lack the interest, they lack the taste, and they lack the values that they brought with them here. Then they go out and look for other people that look like them and say, we're going to build us a community. We're going to control the jobs and job opportunities in Little Havana. We're going to control the politics and the politicians that represent us in Little Havana. We're going to have our own banks, our own businesses, our own churches, and we're going to see Jesus through the eyes of our own culture. We're going to build us a community of people who look like us, who talk like us, and then we're going to practice something that we call group economics. We're going to support each other. And we're going to make sure that the money that floats around in our community floats around at least 8 to 12 times before it floats out.
And now
that gives us power.
Beyond barbershops, beauty shops, Baptist churches and other churches, burial parlors, and places of entertainment where we can go and drink and entertain ourselves, the dollar does not turn where we live.
No, it comes in and goes right out. Comes in and goes right out. And by the way, between 1930 and 1955, blacks owned 200 businesses in Valdosta. 200. 25 grocery stores. We owned 17 cafes. We owned 6 insurance companies. The list goes on and on and on. But today, the two largest black businesses in the black community are the black church and the funeral home.
Whose fault is that?
Ours.
Why?
Why? Because integration helped them and it hurt us. We gave up everything to accept from them. We got nothing in exchange. They got everything. They didn't lose. We must understand that. The white folks did not lose with integration.
They won.
We lost. That's right.
We didn't understand what it was.
We lost our history. We lost our interest, our taste, our values. We took on the interest, the taste, and values of others, and in exchange for that, we got absolutely nothing.
But how do you deal with the skeptic and the young person who doesn't really understand the dynamics that created our history here in America, when they say, well, that's a lot of old stuff, and we don't live there anymore, and we're progressing, and we're going to college, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and we don't want to hear that old stuff anymore?
Well, they got to hear it. If you don't know where you came from, you cannot appreciate where you are. And if you don't appreciate where you are, you don't know where you're going. Because when you get there, you won't know where you are. That's the saddest commentary on this nation so far as black folks goes. Malcolm X had it right. He said, people that will not teach you right won't treat you right. So if we are denied the opportunity to learn our history, our culture, our religion, all of those things that made us the survivors of the greatest Holocaust in the history of the world, then we will never appreciate who we really are.
Dr. Asa Hilliard, professor at Georgia State University. If you don't know where you came from, you cannot know where you are. And if you don't know where you are, you have no idea where it is you're trying to go. And if you don't know where you're trying to go, any road will take you there.
Yeah.
Any road will take you there. Any road will take you there. That sounds like misdirection to me. It's Sunday Morning Gospel on the People Station, WSTI Star.